In this video, you are going to learn all the CSS Flexbox properties you need to know in less than 15 minutes. In order to get started, as you can see here, I have my index.html file as well as my style.css file, and I also have my browser alongside my Visual Studio Code editor so that you can view the live changes as it happens. Right now, I'm going to rename my document as Flexbox. After I'm done renaming, I'm going to give it the basic structure so that we can style it using CSS. Firstly, I'm going to give it a div class of wrapper. In order to give it a div class of wrapper, we are going to write dot wrapper. Then press enter on your keyboard. It's going to give it a div class of wrapper. Then in the div class of wrapper, I'm going to give it a container. So the wrapper will house all other elements on the web page. So I'm going to write dot container. Then in the container, we are going to have 3 boxes. So firstly, I'm going to give it a general class of .bx. So it's going to give it a div class of bx. So in this bx class, I'm going to give it another class of box1. So we are going to write box1 so that we can style it separately. So currently we have 2 classes. The first class is bx, while the second class is box1. So in this box1, I'm going to write box1 in all caps. Then I'm going to duplicate this section 2 more times. So here I'm going to change it to box2, while this place is going to be box3. Now in this box, after that, I'll come to this section and change this one to box2, while this one also will be changed to box3. Now we have our basic structure. Now let's move on to the styling. So firstly, we have to remove the default padding and margin by targeting the universal selector. So I'm going to give it a margin of 0. I'm also going to give it a padding of 0. So the font family is going to be sans serif. I'm going to give it a box sizing of border box. I'll come to this section. So I'm going to link the CSS to the HTML. In order to link both the CSS and the HTML, I'm going to write link, then press enter. So then you are going to write style.css. So it has been linked currently. So you are going to see the live changes right now. As you can see, the changes has been applied here. So let's continue with the styling. So after the universal selector, I'm going to target the container class. So I'm going to write dot container. So in the container, I'm going to give it a width of 100%, height of 100 viewport high. I'm going to target this class of bx. Can you see? This is the class that I wanted to target so that I can style the box and give it separate color. Then we can start working with the Flexbox properties. So right now I'm going to write .bx. Now in the bx, I'm going to give the box a width of 300 pixels, while the height is going to be 200 pixels. So after the width and the height, I'm going to give it a font weight of bold so that the text can be bold. As you can see, the text has been bold right now. So after that, I'm going to give it a font size of 30 pixels. So a font size of 30 pixels will be applied so that the text can be bigger, as you can see right now. So I'm going to give it a text align center so that the text can be aligned to the center. Can you see? So I'm going to give it a padding top of 80 pixels. So right now I'm going to come to this container class, then I'm going to change the background color to black. Then I will change the text color to white so that the text can be visible, as you can see right now. Now, in order to align these boxes side by side, so I'm going to give it a display flex property so that it can align it side by side, as you can see. So right now, I'm going to target the box 1 class. So I'm going to write dot box 1. So I'm going to give it a background color. Right now, I'm going to copy this as of box 1. So I'm going to duplicate it 2 more times. So I'm going to change the background color of this second box to, here I'm going to change it to box 2. This one will be box 2. As you can see, the color has changed. So I'm going to change this one to box 3. Then I'm going to change the color code to this new color. Can you see the color has been applied? Now we are done with the basic styling. Now it's now time to move on to the Flexbox properties. So now in this container class, now we are going to give it align item center. Can you see? So this is the full view. Can you see that it has aligned the item to the center vertically? So I also want it to be at the center horizontally. In order to apply it to the center horizontally, we are going to use the Flexbox property called justify content. So I'm going to use justify content center. Now I'm going to give it justify content center so that it can align it to the center horizontally. So it's going to be center. Now can you see what is going on here? Now let's explore more justify content properties. So we can also write justify content space around. So if you give it justify content space around, it's going to apply space around the boxes. Can you see that it has given the box some spaces? So that is justify content space around. Now let's explore justify content space between. So I'm going to write space between instead of space around. So it's going to be space between. Now, can you see the difference in between space around and space between? Space around is going to apply spaces all around the box, but space between we are line equal spaces in between the boxes. Can you see? So now let's move on. So after the justify content space between, we also have another properties of space evenly. So it's going to space the boxes evenly. That is going to give it equal space in between. Can you see that the sizes are equal in between the boxes? Now let's move on to align items. We are done with justify content properties. Now let's move on to align items. Now as you can see here, we have align item center. So we can also align items to flex end. When you align items to the flex end, it's going to push it to the bottom. If I write align item flex start, so it's going to place the box at the start of the flex. Can you see? So it has aligned the box to the top. So that is the difference between flex end and flex start. Let's remove it from space evenly. Let's give it space between so that we can continue with our styling. Then I'm going to remove it from flex start. So I'm going to give it align item center. The next property we are going to talk about is called order. So for instance, now we have box 1, box 2, box 3. Now I wanted to move box 1 to this section. Then box 3 will now move to this section. In order to do that, we are going to use the property called order. Then I'm going to write order. The order is going to be 3. Now can you see that box 1 has moved from its current position? It has moved from this section to this section. Can you see? This is how you can use order. Another property we are going to be talking about is called flex direction. Now here we have, now in the container here we have given it a display of flex. Currently we have it aligned to the row, so we wanted to change the flex direction to column. Now in order to do that, I'll come to this section, then I'm going to write flex. So I'm going to write flex direction. The direction is going to be column, so it's now going to change from row to column. Can you see? Can you see? This is how you can change the direction of your Flexbox container. Let's move on. I'm going to remove this property. The next property I'm going to talk about is called flex basis. So for instance, I have 3 boxes. So if I wanted the box 1, now let me remove this order as well. Now if I wanted box 1 to be bigger than all other boxes, I'm going to give it a flex basis of 50%. Can you see? So that is, this box 1 has occupied 50% of the whole container. So box 2 and box 3 is now sharing the remaining space. You can also use flex 2. This time around, let me use box 3 as an example. So I'm going to use flex. The flex is going to be 2. So it has taken 50% of the whole width. So box 1 and box 2 is now sharing the remaining space. Another flex property we want to talk about is called flex wrap. So currently here I'm going to remove this property. This particular property is very good for responsive design. So here in the container class, I'm going to give it a flex wrap. So I'm going to give it a flex wrap of wrap. So the flex wrap of wrap will wrap the box. As you can see, it has wrapped the box. So whenever the width is too small, it's going to wrap it in order to fit the section. But if there is enough space, it's going to align horizontally. But if there is not enough space, it's going to align vertically, as you can see, in order to fit the available spaces. If you really enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. Also turn on the post notification bell so that each time I upload a new video like this, you'll be the first person to be updated. This has bring us to the end of today's video. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this video. If there's any other way you think we can use the Flexbox, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.